What's going on, guys? This is something completely different. I've always wanted to try this, so I figured, why the hell not? As you can see on the screen, it says NXT Takeover Toronto 2019. Unfortunately, the stupid watermarks, I couldn't remove them because I would have to pay for the stupid site, and I wasn't going to pay. Like, screw that. So, I wanted to give my review on what happened this week in wrestling, WWE, with Saturday, of course, being NXT Takeover in Toronto. Sunday, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, excuse me, and of course Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So the first match for NXT overall, I gotta say, as always, phenomenal. They always bring down the house. Like, I don't know, they just the matches that they have are just always awesome. So we're gonna start off with the first match being the NXT Tag Team Championships. Of course, I was rooting for the Undisputed Era because that's my favorite faction, especially because of Adam Cole, baby. Unfortunately, they lost. I was really hoping that they would win. Nothing against the Profits. They're great in the ring. Nothing against them at all. Overall, really good match. A good start to the pay per view. So with NXT, they always have great tag team matches, and that's something that WWE seriously lacks. Is that they have great tag teams on the main roster, but it's like Vince is like, nah, they suck. I'm not gonna bother with them. But every time you see tag teams go at it and you let them do their thing, it's awesome. Usos versus New Day will always be classic matchups. Even with the revival, like you have a lot of great tag teams. It's like I feel like Vince should be taking notes from Triple H, who runs NXT, and you have a great match like this. This was a really good match. I enjoyed it. Great start to the pay per view. Uh, yeah, like I said, I was rooting for Undisputed Era because I was really hoping this would be the night that all the members of the team would get the gold. It didn't happen. Now this match, Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae, phenomenal match between these two women. They gave it their all. I loved it. It had a great pace to it. The storytelling was awesome. Io Shirai as a heel, I love it. And Candice LeRae, of course, she's a good girl. She is Johnny Gargano's wife. This match was awesome. I loved it. Definitely best women's match for both NXT and SummerSlam. Now we go on to this match. And Io Shirai won that last match, which you guys should know the results by now. But for this match, the North American Championship match, Velveteen Dream defending and retained his title against Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. Again, I was rooting for Roderick Strong, so the simple fact he is a part of the Undisputed Era, but of course that didn't happen. But just another great match. It was a triple threat, of course, as you could tell, and all three members did a phenomenal job. But of course, it's Pete Dunne, Velveteen Dream, Roderick Strong. You can't go wrong with that. Velveteen Dream's entrance was awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of that. This guy knows how to make an entrance into any show that he does. He never disappoints with the entrance. It's kind of like Triple H at WrestleMania. He always has a badass entrance. Velveteen Dream had an awesome entrance. Overall, great match. They, again, great pacing, great storytelling. The moves that they did were just awesome. Like, it was awesome. Completely enjoyed it. Definitely. So, yeah, Velveteen Dream. Like I said, I was going for Roderick Strong, Undisputed Era. This match, NXT Women's Championship match. It was boring. I never thought I would say that for an NXT match. This is the first time that I'm actually saying that. So, yeah, it was a boring match. I mean, but then again, with Shayna Baszler, I was never a fan of her. I always found her to be weak in the ring. Like, I know she's a former MMA fighter and all that crap, but that doesn't mean shit when you're wrestling in in a ring, like a WWE ring or AEW or Ring of Honor or Impact, whatever. MMA and wrestling sports entertainment are completely different. And although she's okay in the mic, she's not that bad. I'll admit, she's a decent heel, but she's held the title for too long. It's her title reign is very stale and boring. And like normally, like okay, like the last match she had was against Io Shirai, and it was a good match because Io carried that match. She made it look really good. But with Mia Yim, this was my first time watching her, and so like my cousin was telling me, "Oh yeah, no, she's really good. She's really good." But even Mia couldn't carry this match. It was boring. And again, I never thought I would say that for NXT pay per view, NXT match. It's the first time that I'm actually saying that. It was pretty boring. So of course, Baszler retained. Go figure. I really want Io Shirai to beat her for that title. Now we get to NXT's main event. Match of the year. That's all I gotta say. Match of the year. This match was beautiful, perfectly executed, great storytelling. I mean, these two are two of the greatest superstars in NXT history. Like, I put them up there with Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. Like, these guys were just phenomenal. The match was amazing. It was an hour long. It was a 2 out of 3 falls count match. But oh my god, for an hour match, there was not one part of the match where I was bored. I was on my feet the whole entire match, going crazy, enjoying the hell out of it. Especially so the first fall was a regular singles match. Adam Cole chose that. Adam Cole won, but by disqualification because Johnny Gargano, kicked him in the nuts. And then the second fall, which it was a street fight, Gargano chose that, and of course Gargano won. So now it's it's 1-1 apiece. The final match, if it were to go to a third match, William Regal chose that one, and he chose a steel cage hardcore match. Like I don't know, like I know there was just weapons on the cage. It was barbed wire on top of the cage, and it reminds me of when Jericho faced Dean Ambrose and what's it called? The Ambrose Asylum match, I think it was called, something like that. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it was just like that. Weapons on the cage, barbed wire on top of the cage, and went on there. There was tables, and it was just amazing match. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was awesome. I loved it. Overall, the pay-per-view, I still give it an A. I would say a 9 out of 10, maybe 8.5 out of 10, but only because the NXT Women's Championship match, it was a dull match, wasn't exciting. You could kind of tell Mia Yim, I think I'm saying her name right, I'm not sure. You could tell she tried to make the match look good, but it's hard when you're facing Baszler. Like, because Baszler, like I said, it's not that good. So that's why I'm giving it, like I say, either 8.5 out of 10 or maybe 9 out of 10. Yeah. Overall, it was a great pay-per-view. Loved it. Again, I'm saying this right now. NXT pay-per-view, as usual, beat a WWE pay-per-view. Triple H, once again, beat Vince McMahon. Saying that now. And, of course, this match, loved it. Like I said, match of the year. Match of the year. So now we head on to Sunday. SummerSlam. I didn't really have much hope for this pay-per-view because a lot of the story build-ups for the matches were just kind of rushed. Like, so, and I'm not the only one, obviously. A lot of people, they didn't really have their hopes up for this pay-per-view. But, of course, I still saw it. So, we're going to start off with the kickoff, which this was the first kickoff match. Drew Gulak versus Oni Larkin. I think that's how you say his name. It was, it was okay. It was nothing special. Like, Gulak is a great superstar. I'm glad he's a cruiserweight champion. He's an awesome champion. Larkin, I'm not gonna lie, it was my first time watching him, so I don't really know too much about him. But yeah, the match overall it was meh. Like that's all I can say. It was just meh. So now on to the second kickoff, which was Apollo Crews versus Buddy Murphy. Now I'm a fan of both of these guys, especially Buddy Murphy. In my personal opinion, Buddy Murphy definitely has a future in WWE if Vince lets him. This match, it could have been a good match. Unfortunately, there was Buddy Murphy got disqualified because Eric Rowan came in and just beat the shit out of him, causing disqualification because of the whole thing with Roman Reigns. Uh, for those of you who don't know, there's a storyline going on with Roman Reigns where somebody has been attacking him, but we don't know who. So Roman thought maybe it was Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe said no, it wasn't me. So he apologized to Joe. Then he went up to Buddy, says, "Hey, either you did it or you know who did it." Buddy Murphy said, "Even if I knew who did it, I wouldn't tell you." Roman beat the shit out of him in the locker, got a name out of him. He said it was Rowan. It was Rowan. And so that led up to Buddy Murphy getting attacked at SummerSlam by Eric Rowan. But I feel like if they would have put it on, if they would let them have their match, this would have been a great match. So now this picture, Edge. He during the kickoff, this is still the kickoff. Elias wanted to do a performance, and as usual, somebody always has to interfere. Always. Edge was the one that shocked everybody. It shocked me when I heard the "You think you know me?" I was like, "What?" So I had to put my sound system on immediately. I was like, "Wait a minute!" And I see Edge coming out. I was like, "Yes!" And then he speared Elias. The fans going crazy, especially being at they're in Canada, Canadian boy over here. Not me, Edge. They went crazy as well as I did. So that was really cool to see. I truly wish Edge could come back, but of course, due to his, I think it's with his neck, he can't wrestle again. So it's a shame. I would have loved to see him go against Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, The Fiend. That would be awesome. Finn Balor, Elias, Buddy Murphy, Ali. I mean, Kevin Owens. The list just goes on. He would have had a lot of great matches to this very day. So, but it was cool to see him spear somebody. So now we get to the third and final match of the kickoff show, that being Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defending their new tag team women's championship against the former champions, the Iconics. Again, it was a decent match. It was all right. Nothing ooh la la special. I do like that Bliss Cross. That's what I'm calling them. I'm calling them Bliss Cross. I do like the fact that they're champions, and I like that they're, WWE is finally making them fighting champions, because that was the biggest issue when they introduced the women's tag team championship. Of course, a lot of fans were very excited because it's something that we never got to see in WWE. There are other wrestling promotions that do have women's tag team championships. WWE was long overdue for one. So the first champions, of course, was Bayley and Sasha, and I was expecting a lot from them. Unfortunately, we didn't get the title reign that fans really wanted. They had a boring title reign, and I like Sasha and I like Bayley, and I think if WWE would have focused more on the women's tag team, on just the tag team division in general, both male and female, Bayley and Sasha would have had a much better title reign. And then they lose it at WrestleMania to the Iconics. So now fans are saying, okay, the Iconics, they're the perfect tag team. Let's give them the title. And of course, fans were excited. But although they are right now considered the longest reigning women's tag team champions, they were very extremely boring because they didn't really fight. They defended the titles maybe like what, 3 or 4 times? I could be wrong. Actually, I think like 2 or 3 times. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But it was such a boring title reign because they didn't do anything. You know, it was just boring. So to see that Alexa and Nikki finally won the titles off of them, and they actually got to defend it right away, that was cool to see. And I'm especially excited for Nikki Cross because she deserves a title. She's such an awesome competitor. I love her in-ring ability. I really like her on the mic. I love her accent. She's awesome. And I love that she came with the group, which was a badass group called Sanity. Of course, Vince McMahon destroyed them. Go figure. What a surprise. But I'm very glad that she is a champion. But yeah, overall, it was an okay match. So, yeah. Now, we go to the very first match of SummerSlam, the official pay-per-view SummerSlam. We're done with the kickoff. So now we have the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, defending her title against Natalya in a submission match. Honestly, great match. Enjoyed the hell out of it. It was, awesome. They definitely have great chemistry in the ring, so it was really nice to see that. And I really thought that Natalya was gonna win, but I'm glad that she didn't. Only because I still feel like, although Natty's a great wrestler, I still feel like she kind of has to fix her mic performance. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, but I just felt like her like when she talks on the mic, it's pretty weak. Like I was confused. Like I didn't know who really was the heel in this match because at first they made it seem like Becky was the heel, but then when Natalya just attacked Amber Moon on SmackDown before SummerSlam, I was like, well, wait a minute. Amber Moon is a face. She's a good girl. I thought Natty was supposed to be the face as well, but yet here she is attacking Amber Moon. So, a lot of people got confused like as to who was the heel in this match. But overall, besides all that, like I said, it was a really good match. Definitely a good start to SummerSlam. Yeah. The shit. So, I can't stand Goldberg. I'm throwing that out there right now. I never found him as a good wrestler. I never found him as like, one of the greatest WCW wrestlers of all time. Like, no. And I was while SummerSlam was going on, I was texting my cousin. We were texting each other back and forth about SummerSlam, and he was like, stop shitting on Goldberg. And I'm like, I can't stand him. I call him Shitberg. That's how much I can't stand him because he's garbage. And he's always been garbage. And my cousin's like, nah, he's not. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. He's better than Brock Lesnar. I'm like, hell no. So I asked him a question. Name one good Goldberg match that was actually good. And he couldn't name one. I can name a good Brock Lesnar match. Whether it's old or recent. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk. Even on SummerSlam, the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins was surprisingly really good. But with Goldberg, you really can't name one good match. Like WCW, they really overhyped the shit out of him, and that's what fans like to remember. But if you actually watch any of his matches in WCW, they weren't really that good. I just never found him good. And I get it. He wanted to do this match to redeem himself because The Undertaker got to redeem himself after that horrible, disgusting match between Goldberg and Undertaker. First time ever. Two legends. And that was just a garbage, pure trash match. And Undertaker got to redeem himself when he tag teamed with Roman Reigns against Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. The big difference between Undertaker and Goldberg, Undertaker is and will always be considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Okay? And Undertaker has so many great matches under his belt. So it was no surprise that his redemption in that match was a huge success. And here's a big difference. Undertaker lasted over 5 minutes, over 10 minutes in that match. Goldberg cannot last more than 2 minutes? And this match was a minute and a half at best. Everybody knew Goldberg was going to squash Dolph Ziggler because that's what Goldberg loves to do. And it was just garbage. I just can't. And it kills me because I like Dolph Ziggler. He's a great, phenomenal wrestler. Amazing in the ring. He's amazing on the mic. He's an awesome heel. And I just feel like WWE continues to shit on him. And it sucks. It's really sad. especially considering he had to be squashed by this old fart who should have never returned. Yeah, I just can't stand the guy. Dolph Ziggler is amazing. Goldberg, I can't stand. So now we go to this match. AJ Styles versus Ricochet for the United States Championship. So now the first time these two fought in WWE was on Monday Night Raw. It was for this title, and it was actually a really good match. But now this match, it wasn't, I don't know, it was okay. It wasn't bad, it wasn't terrible. It was just a little boring. Like, I don't know, maybe Vince told them, hey, don't go all out or something. But I don't know. I just felt like the match could have been a lot better like it was in the past. That's really all I got to say. But, of course, AJ won. He's still champion. So now we get to this match. Bayley defending her title, a SmackDown Women's title against Amber Moon. Of course, I was cheering for Amber Moon because I feel like it's her time. She's amazing. She deserves it. But of course, Bayley won. And I don't know. The match, it was a little boring. Like, I know these two could have definitely done a lot better. But I don't know, maybe it was because of time slot they were giving. I don't know. But they definitely could have done a lot better with this match. Unfortunately, Bayley retained. So, yeah. I was really cheering for Amber on this one. Now we get to Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. If Owens loses, he will be forced to quit WWE. This was actually a fun match. It was really fun. I had fun watching it. It was enjoyable. Of course, Kevin Owens won. Now, a lot of fans are already sick and tired of Shane McMahon because they feel like he continues to take the spotlight away from other wrestlers. Since, I mean, even Kevin Owens, as part of the storyline, he said it. But I mean, it is true they've been showing Shane McMahon way too much, and we feel like he's taking time away from superstars. And I mean, I get it's part of a storyline, but I myself, who I once liked Shane McMahon, now I'm just like, okay, Shane, just go home, be with your kids. You did your thing. Goodbye. Or just stick to being GM and that's it. Like, just shoot fly, But this was a fun match. I enjoyed it. It was cool. Like, it was fun to see a stunner on Shane, especially coming from KO. So now we get to this match. Yeah. Charlotte versus Trish. Trish surprised me. And that's a good thing. She actually had a really good match. She didn't screw anything up. She didn't botch. She was really good. Like, you could tell she still has a little fight left in her. Unfortunately, Charlotte won, which obviously that was the dead giveaway from the very beginning. Even when it was first rumored that Charlotte was going to face Trish. Charlotte, yeah. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of Charlotte. I admit she is talented. I admit that. I just feel like she's just too much of a knockoff of her dad. And I'm not a fan of that. Like you being such a talented superstar, you should be your own character. Like the perfect example. I use this as a perfect example. Randy Orton, his father, Cowboy Bob Orton. Randy could have easily came in and been a knockoff of his dad, but Randy didn't want that. Randy wanted to go down his own path and create his own character, and he did. He created the Legend Killer, the Viper, RKO, the most 3 devastating letters in WWE, and he made that for himself. And now, like, whenever people are gonna interview Randy Orton, they say, "Ladies and gentlemen, WWE superstar Randy Orton." Whereas Charlotte, every time Charlotte is being interviewed outside of WWE, they always say, "The daughter of the Hall of Famer Ric Flair, ladies and gentlemen, Charlotte Flair." And now I know, okay, obviously Ric Flair is more popular than Cowboy Bob Orton, 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. I get all that shit. But Charlotte could have easily created and went down her own path, but she wanted to be a knockoff of her dad. and it's just I'm just not a fan of it. And I hate that she's always, she always has to have the spotlight. Like nobody can never be better than her, even though there are superstars that are better than her. But anyway, I'm getting way off topic. This match, it was a good match though. They both did a great job. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was a good match. So it's sad to see Trish on her final match, but she had a great send off, so it was good. It was a good match. Now we get to this. Kofi Kingston defending the WWE Championship against Randy Orton. Boring. That's all I got to say. I mean, it was just boring. It could have been a lot better, especially considering that's Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston. And the ending, I think the ending was the main thing that pissed off everybody, because it's like, come on, ended in a DQ, really? It was just stupid. It was a stupid ass ending. So, yeah, wasn't all that. This to me was a highlight of the night. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. Although it was a bit of a short match, it wasn't a squash. It was about, I want to say, maybe 7-minute match. I could be wrong. Again, correct me. But I loved it, and I think obviously the best part and was Bray Wyatt, aka the Fiend's entrance. That entrance alone stole the entire pay-per-view. It stole the entire pay-per-view, and I will stand by that. You cannot change my mind no matter how hard you try. That entrance was sick. It was amazing. I loved it. The fans were going, holy shit. And it's rare to hear the fans say holy shit for an entrance, okay? So that is something special. They did a phenomenal job. They put so much work into the Fiend. Please, Vince McMahon, WWE, I am begging you, make this man shine. Make him the top heel in WWE, because holy shit, this could be your Undertaker Part 2. I loved the entrance. And the match was a quick, fun match. It was good. Bray Wyatt destroyed Finn Balor. Finn Balor had some fight in him, and he fought back. And, of course, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, he did the Madam Claw on Finn Balor and pinned him 1, 2, 3. But how the match ended, like the aftermath of the match, where the lights went out, and then you hear the screaming, like the screaming, screeching, whatever it is, and the lights are flashing, and all of a sudden you see the Fiend up on the ramp, and he's just staring back in the ring, and the camera's zooming in on him as you hear the screaming, the flashing lights are going. Oh my God. Even the fans were saying that was awesome, and I was cheering with them. I had the surround sound full blast. It was just awesome. Like, I could watch that again and again and again. In fact, I have on my Facebook group called Talking About Wrestling, I uploaded that video because I love this so much, and the entrance music is freaking badass. It's the same band that did Aleister Black's song. The band is called, I believe it's Code Orange. I may be wrong on that, but I believe the band is called Code Orange. They did an awesome job. I freaking loved it. That entrance was the best part of the whole night. Nothing tops it. Okay? Nothing. So, I loved it. Man, it was great. Now we get to the main event. Seth Rollins versus the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. Of course, with the Universal title on the line. It was a fun match. Again, it was a great match. I enjoyed it. They did a great job with it. Seth Rollins, of course, as always, was awesome. I feel like him and Brock, they do have some good chemistry with each other. I'm not a big fan of Brock, but the only reason why I'm not is because he's a part-time champion. Like, I wouldn't care if he wanted to be a part-timer, but they never gave him titles. I'd be perfectly fine with that. But the fact that he's a part-timer and Vince still hands him titles, that is not fair to the full-timers like Seth, Kofi, Roman, all the superstars. It's not fair to them. They work their ass off every single day, every single week, every single month, year, and Brock is to make the title, just hold the title, and let it collect dust. So the ending actually surprised me because I really thought Brock was going to retain, as a lot of other people did, but Seth won it, and I was really excited. I was happy. I'm glad Seth got the title back. If I'm not mistaken, this is Brock Lesnar's shortest title reign. Part-time Brock Lesnar, I mean. Yeah, because usually when he holds a title, he holds it for like a year. So this one, he only held it. What, he lost it at Extreme Rules? I think he lost it. I could be wrong. Was it Extreme Rules that he lost it? I forgot what pay per view that Seth Rollins lost the title when yeah, it was Extreme Rules because it was a tag team match, and Brock Lesnar cashed in on Seth. So he didn't hold it that long, which was good because that surprised a lot of people. So I'm glad Seth is a champion. So overall, SummerSlam, it was good. SummerSlam was really good. I enjoyed it. Of course, NXT demolished SummerSlam, but that's besides the point. Overall, SummerSlam was good. Had a few, few bad things here and there, but it wasn't bad. Overall, it was a good pay-per-view. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad Seth Rollins retained. Of course, The Fiend. The Fiend's entrance alone stole the entire pay-per-view. So now we get to Monday Night Raw. Okay. Monday Night Raw was not that bad. It was pretty good. Let's see. I would have to say the match of the night for Monday Night Raw would definitely have to be Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander. That was a really good match. I'm glad that they finally got to have a full match. Because the last few times we were supposed to face off, something always happened, a DQ, some bullshit always went down. So to finally see them have a full match, it was really good. So hopefully we'll see more matches like that. Because honestly, Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander, again, I wouldn't mind that at all. Especially if it's over like the United States Championship or Intercontinental, or next week, King of the Ring. Hopefully they'll see each other again at King of the Ring. So that was good. What else happened on Monday Night Raw? Just give me a minute here. I'm trying to think. Besides that, oh yeah, you had Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, champion versus champion match. Both titles are not on the line. Of course, that resulted in DQ when the club or the OC, you know, Gallows and Anderson interfered. And Ricochet tried to come in, but yeah, the OC still beat him. Yeah. And how could I forget? The best part of Monday Night Raw. Sasha Banks finally returning, and she came back as a freaking heel. She beat the shit out of Natalya. Becky tried coming in for the save. She beat the shit out of Becky. That was awesome. I'm so glad that heel Sasha is finally back. I think she's awesome as a heel. Hopefully she stays as a heel because that was great to see her back. Another good match was Andrade versus Rey Mysterio in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Andrade won both the first and the second match. It was a clean. It was a sweep, not a clean, a sweep, and it was a good match. Andrade and Rey Mysterio, they have such great, beautiful chemistry together. Their matches are always on point. It's always fun to see them go at it. It's like, as you know, like Rey Mysterio, he's obviously been around since WCW, and man, he doesn't really lose much in his wrestling ability. He could still go in. He could still put on a great match, and especially with Andrade, it's just so freaking good. So it was awesome to see that. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much the main things. R-Truth lost the 24/7 title to the Revival. They're like the first co-champions for the 24/7 title. But R-Truth won it back, but only to lose it again to this time Elias. So, yeah. Pretty much the main things that happened on Monday Night Raw. So overall, Monday Night Raw wasn't bad. It was, it was pretty good. It wasn't a bad Monday Night Raw. It was pretty good. So let's go to SmackDown. SmackDown Live on Tuesday. SmackDown Live. It was, again, it wasn't bad. It was definitely pretty good. Um, Trying to think. They started off with Kevin Owens talking about how he was happy that he got to beat the shit out of Shane and beat him. Of course, Shane came in and was like, oh, well, you know, it was a bullshit win, blah, blah, blah. And being that at SummerSlam, they had Elias as a special ring enforcer, and Kevin Owens ended up beating the crap out of him. And so, because of that, Shane McMahon ended up fining Kevin Owens for $100,000. And, you know, of course, KO like flipped out, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it started. And I'm trying to think, was there anything else good about SmackDown? They had Charlotte Flair versus Ember Moon. Of course, no surprise, Charlotte won because she has to win, I guess. And yeah, like it wasn't a bad match, and that's the thing. Like Ember Moon is really good in the ring, but I feel like it's like, oh well, she's not blonde, she doesn't have fake tits, and she's not related to a famous legend. So yeah, let's just continue to screw her over. I mean, that's how I feel. Maybe I'm the only one, but yeah. Match of the night, though, was Roman Reigns versus Buddy Murphy. That match was amazing. Roman Reigns won, but he did not bury Buddy Murphy. See, some people are like, oh, Roman Reigns, of course, with the shovel, burying Buddy Murphy. No, he did not bury him. A burial would have been just Roman Reigns spear, 1, 2, 3, done. Like some Goldberg type shit. No, it wasn't a squash match. It was a full match. It was a great match. Buddy Murphy definitely looked very strong in that match. Even Roman Reigns was impressed. You could tell by his reaction after the match. And in fact, on Twitter, well, let me get this up. On Twitter, Roman Reigns even tweeted saying, I'm going to read this quote, meant every word I said about Buddy Murphy in the ring. He said he wanted a fight and he got one. Tonight was my night, but I'm sure it won't be the last time I'll stand across from you. Hashtag SD live, hashtag secrets out. So that was really cool to see that Roman definitely acknowledged that Buddy Murphy could be the next big star in WWE. And Buddy proved it in that match. It was a phenomenal match. I mean, I can't stress how great it was. And even on that same tweet, Bully Ray, aka, you know, Bubba Dudley from Dudley Boys, he even made a comment on Roman's post saying, one of the biggest lessons I ever learned was from Jerry Briscoe. If you don't make someone, you didn't beat anyone. You, talking about Roman, made him before you beat him. Awesome match and storytelling by you both. And that is true. Bully Ray is spot on. This match was amazing. I loved it. Match of the night by far. Definitely. And yeah, so that was definitely match of the night. Then, of course, we had Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe. Yeah, you know, it was a good match. It was decent. Joe beat him thanks to interference by the enforcer once again, Elias. Then we had the main event where it was supposed to be Xavier Woods and Big E going against the Revival, but then they made it to a 6-man tag team match where it was all 3 members of the New Day versus Randy Orton and the Revival. Randy Orton and the Revival won, and they closed the show out with Randy Orton RKOing Kofi, Xavier, and Big E. So, I mean, overall, SmackDown wasn't bad. I think what made SmackDown good was Roman versus Buddy Murphy. Because even I, just as many other people, we thought that it was either going to be a squash match with Roman squashing Buddy Murphy, or Roman getting, or like Eric Rowan interfering in that match, or something happening to Roman Reigns on his way to the ring. Thank God none of that happened. It was an amazing match. I would definitely love to see them go at it again in the future, maybe for the Intercontinental title, or hell, WWE title. Roman Reigns, WWE Champion at WrestleMania. Buddy Murphy winning Royal Rumble and going against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania main event. That would be amazing. With Buddy Murphy going over and beating Roman for the WWE title. I think that would be awesome to see. So yeah, overall, NXT, SummerSlam, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, they were all like NXT being great, SummerSlam being good, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown being pretty good. It was actually a good week for wrestling. Definitely looking forward to see what happens next. Of course, a big pay-per-view, well, two pay-per-views, I should say, that I'm really looking forward to is NXT UK and AEW All Out. Definitely looking forward to those two. Of course, they're on the same day, but different time slots. NXT UK is in the afternoon, I believe at 2 p.m. I'll have to double check that just to make sure. And AEW, of course, starts at 7:30, but I think their kickoff or their pre-show probably will start at 6. I think maybe 6:30. I'm not sure. Again, I have to double check that as well. If you know, correct me. So, yeah, this was my review for the week. Like I said, it's my first time doing this. I've been thinking about doing this for a long time, and so I'm glad I finally got to do it. I'm glad I got a little slideshow going on. Unfortunately, the stupid watermark was on there. I couldn't take it out. But, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Hey, of course, if you disagree with everything that I said, you felt the complete opposite of everything, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I like to see other people's perspective. I like to see hear and read other people's reviews on on wrestling. Because that's the great thing about wrestling is everybody has their own opinion. Like me, I don't care for Goldberg at all, but there are others who love Goldberg and would call me an idiot for not liking Goldberg. I like Roman Reigns. Other people, the Roman haters will say he's terrible, he's garbage, and I'm an idiot. But, like I'm not the type of person to name call anybody just because they disagree with my opinion. These are all just my personal opinions, my personal review. These are not fact. These are not, stated in stone. Like, no, these are just opinions. And if you disagree, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with people disagreeing. Okay? You can have simple discussions, but all I ask is don't come in with the name calling saying you're a fucking moron, you're a dipshit. Like, no, like don't come out with that shit. Like if you say, hey man, I respectfully disagree with you, then that's awesome. I like to see other people's opinion, whether it agrees with my opinion or it doesn't. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Again, let me know what you think. Do you like Goldberg? Can you name a good Goldberg match? Did you like Roman Reigns versus Buddy Murphy? Anything. So before I go, I'm going to end it with one thing. And here it is. If it's going to come up. Where is it? Have a good day.